Hello, my name is Adam W. Rodriguez. Welcome to my channel. I am your host here at the Art of AWR. I am a little sick today, as you can tell. I was kind of absent in October because I got sick and I didn't want to cough at you here on BookTube. And I had a whole bunch of stuff that I wanted to do in October and it all got blown to hell because my face was full of schnot. But now it's not anymore. Thank you. So the medication is still kicking in. So, hey, that's where I am. All right, folks. I thought I would go easy on myself and start off with a book tag. And I was going to do this book tag on Halloween night because I was too sick to actually go out and party or trick or treat or whatever, just because I was sick. I didn't want to get other people sick. So I had a bummer of a Halloween, you guys. And I was going to do this, but then I was just in such bad shape. The video would have just come off as pathetic because I'd have been just feeling sorry for myself the entire time. But I'm going to do it anyway because, hey, why not? It's YouTube. I do what I want, man. I do what I want. It's a free place. It's free and I'm free to do so. So I'm going to do the Spooky Halloween tag. I saw this on Books of Blood. He saw it on David's book reviews, and David's book reviews saw it somewhere else. I'm just, going on with that there trend. At the end of both of those guys, they usually have an open invite for the folks to do the tag. So I'm doing the tag. I'm jumping on in. Thank you, Books of Blood. You should watch Books of Blood. That guy's great. I actually asked him for some werewolf recs the other day, and he gave me this beautiful list of awesome books that I've never heard of. So the man is quite well read, and I like his reviews a lot. Let us move on. I need to put my glasses back on, so backwards noise. Okay, that was my backwards noise. Well done, Adam. You're so funny. Okay, cool. I'm just going to get into these because there's 29 questions, so I'm going to try to kind of bark through them pretty quick. I remember watching these guys do this tag, and now I don't remember any of the questions because it was like a few weeks ago. So I'm kind of going in fresh. So let's see what we got here. Question number 1: favorite horror or Halloween themed song? I'm going to go with Dead Man's Party by Oingo Boingo. If you guys don't know who Oingo Boingo is, they are totally rad. The front man for Oingo Boingo is Danny Elfman, who's the guy who does a lot of the Tim Burton scores for his movies. He did Batman with the Michael Keaton Batman. He did Beetlejuice. You know what I mean? So he's great. He's good, atmospheric, kind of bouncy, happy, but still spooky kind of stuff, Dead Man's Party. It's a dead man's party. Who could ask for more? Everybody's coming. Leave your body at the door. Leave your body and soul at the door. Don't run away. It's only me. Okay, I could go on. Don't be afraid of what you cannot be. I don't know what the hell the words are there. All right, I'm done. That was great, guys. You got serenaded. It's the sickness. I'm down with the sickness. That's not my Halloween song. I'm moving on to the next question. Number 2. Name something that you wouldn't want to run into in a dark forest or an abandoned building. Well, in a dark forest, I would not want to run into a bear that is also a werewolf. A werewolf. That would not be fun. But if I was in an abandoned building, the last thing I would want to run into is a living, shambling mound of burning chemicals seeking to engulf me and turn my bones green after completely incinerating the fresh from them, the fresh flesh from them. I am really on fire today, you guys. And the medication is pretty minimal. I mean, this is Tylenol and fish oil. Yes, sir. Woo! Question number 3. Have you ever played with a Ouija board? So many times. My gosh, guys. I have been trying to summon the ghosts, summon the things from the other side so many times. I think it's because I am a total skeptic. I have been told many times by many friends That's not true. I've been told one time by one friend that I am too uptight to see ghosts. And it's usually because when we start telling ghost stories, I'm like, yeah, but that could be this. Or yeah, but maybe that could be this. Playing the devil's advocate, if you will, a little too much. Because they're like, dude, you uptight, man. And I'm like, maybe I am. Who knows? So, yes, I have played with Ouija board many times. I have summoned nothing. Question number 4. Favorite horror, monster, or villain? Oh, my God. That's hard. Oh, that's hard. Favorite monster or villain? Brrr. Arr. Ah. You know, the one that had the longest lasting effect on me as far as monsters are concerned is probably Jaws. And that's because I lived on the coast when I was a boy. I lived on the Texas Gulf Coast in a town called Texas City. It was dreary. It was this heavy industrial. It's right across Galveston. You can see Galveston Island from the shores of Texas City. And yeah, sharks, man. Sharks terrified me. And I'm terrified of these here sharks. And in Jaws, I remember watching that at a drive-in theater, and I was really, really young. I hid underneath the car and would bury my face because it was in the sand. There was like a sand lot with this big drive-in, and I would bury my face in the sand when that music happened. So yes, long-lasting effect. It was the shark from Jaws as far as monsters are concerned. So he's probably one of my favorites. As far as villains are concerned, I don't know, man. Darth Vader was great until the prequels came out. So let's say Jaws and Darth Vader. Darth Vader riding on Jaws would be the most terrifying thing in the world. And I want to see that movie. That crossover must happen. Okay, next question. I went on far too long on question 4. Question 5, the creepiest thing that's ever happened to you while you were alone. Alone. All right. Like I said, I'm from this place called Texas City. This is kind of a gloomy Texas coast town. Excuse me. And when I was a boy, junior high, we had this theater up the road from my house. 2 screens. It was called the Trade Wind Theater. Anyway, you know the book It. How it starts with this encounter with Georgie at this rain gutter. Well, that book, as soon as I saw the scene with the boy at the rain gutter, I had this sinking feeling in my stomach. And it was because of this encounter that I had walking home from the Trade Winds Theater. I remember this distinctly, I had just watched Crocodile Dundee. So it was like 86, 85. And I'm walking home. And I had already kind of encountered this with rain gutters. I would see these weird shadows flicker in there, especially right there near the Trade Wind. And I always thought it was maybe like a raccoon or a possum or some rats or something like that, One day, I just got brave enough to stick my head down in there. And I mean, I was just like putting my face, and, the shadow of the rain gutter was just starting to kind of wash over after I had seen something kind of flicker past. And I think just watching Crocodile Dundee just made me brave all of a sudden, right? And I stuck my face in there. And you understand the concept of shadow people. A lot of folks do, especially if you're on BookTube and HorrorTube. You probably already know that a shadow person is this sort of silhouette, humanoid silhouette that is a darker shadow within a shadow, right? So you have this kind of light shadow here inside the rain gutter, especially, right just in front of me in this kind of, rectangular opening. But I saw it like stepped in like directly into like focus. And it felt like a head and shoulders, and you can see like the body is just kind of down below in the darkness, and just walks right up and turns to me. And when it does that, the face was already, like I said, a shade darker than the darkness around it. But then it started like a single point in the center of the face, an even darker shadow opened, kind of like an aperture dilating, and almost as if it was like this one giant even deeper, darker shadow eye. It freaked me the shit out, and I jumped up and like ran home at a really, really quick pace. In fact, nowadays, even when I watch Crocodile Dundee, if I see Crocodile Dundee, I feel a little panicked. And it's just because of that weird rain gutter encounter. And ever since then, when I'm home in Texas City, like every once in a while, rain gutters will still have this kind of weird effect. Now, I've always had weird encounters with shadow people as well. I remember when I was a really young boy and my grandfather was ailing and about to pass, I would go to the hospital very, very often. And in those days, I would see shadow people moving about in the hospital like all the time. And I was a kid with a pretty overactive imagination. So often I even told myself that's what it was. But I think as I got older, that kind of thing happened less and less. Although every once in a while, I'll still see some stuff. Anyway, that was a really long story, but it's probably one of the very few like encounters that I've had where psychologically I can't fully, I can't dismiss it. It's hard to. So anyway, that's me. That was a really long time to spend on that. What was that? That was alone. That was question 5. Question 6. If you were dared to spend the night in a haunted house, would you do it? 1,000,000 times, yes, I would do it so hard. Next question. Are you superstitious? No, I don't think I am. Like I said, I'm a pretty hardcore skeptic. I am a skeptic, that too. And so in general, I think that superstition doesn't really work on me. Like black cats and walking under ladders and whistling backstage, saying Macbeth in the theater. I'll say Macbeth in the damn theater. So it's not, I won't do it because other people are superstitious. I respect other people's superstitions because I understand that sometimes superstition is just about a mindset. You know, you just want to go in feeling as positive as possible. So don't say this, don't do this, don't whatever. I can respect other people's superstitions, but I myself don't subscribe to superstition in general. Next, do you ever see figures in your peripheral vision? Yes, I do. I was just kind of talking about shadow people in general. And I think that as far as I'm concerned, the most common thing that supernaturally that has been in my personal existence has been shadow people. And I've encountered them in periphery sometimes, like full bodies, walking and interacting. But once again, you know, you look and it's gone and it's done. So, you know, it's interesting. Yes, I do. I do see things in my peripheral visions. Do you prefer gore or thrillers? That's question number 9. I would say I prefer thrillers. I think thriller is a tactic and gore is a tool. Right? So what I mean by that is like a thriller is something that has levels. You have to prep your thriller. You gotta have some backstory. You gotta have some hills and valleys. You gotta lead somewhere. You know, thrillers is psychological, whereas gore is just a tool of the trade. You can do gore too much. You can do gore too little. And sometimes gore is just like dumb. Unless you mean it to be funny. You know what I mean? Like a Sam Raimi movie, great use of overuse of gore. You know, Gwar concerts, you know, they take gore to such high levels that it's just entertainment. You know what I mean? So I consider gore more of a tool. So if I had to prefer a movie that was about gore, I probably wouldn't like it as much as a movie that was a thriller, an actual thriller. So definitely thrillers. That's my answer to question number 9. Question number 10. Do you believe in multiple dimensions or worlds? Yes, I do. I think that's where shadow people maybe even come from, is that we are in sort of a transitive existence, as in we are both occupying sort of the same space, but in different dimensions. It's amazing what we didn't know 100 years ago. I'm very interested to see what we find out 100 years from now. And I think that interdimensional space is one of those things that we might learn about. You know, hopefully it doesn't turn into, you know, From Beyond by H.P. Lovecraft or The Mist by Stephen King. You know, hopefully it just turns into something new and interesting. But I do think there are other dimensions. I know that energy cannot be completely destroyed. It goes somewhere. So there's that. Yes, I do believe in multiple dimensions and other worlds. Number 11, have you ever made a potion of any sort? I've taken a chemistry class, I've mixed some stuff. I've made, elixirs that were designed to get me a little drunk, a little high, you know what I mean? But potions, that's an interesting word. So maybe my answer is maybe. Maybe I've made a potion, some more successful than others. Question 12. Do you get scared easily? This is an interesting question. I think I do, but only in for a only particular reason. And that is, I get super focused. I'm a hyper-focused person. I can only obsess over a single thing at a time. I'm the worst multitasker in the world. So what I mean by this is if I'm like reading something on my computer and somebody walks in behind me and goes, "Hey, Adam," I'm like, "Whoa!" And it freaks me the hell out. I'll jump and almost hit the ceiling. So yeah, I'm easily scared in that regard. Like certain things that like raise my ankles as far as like caution is concerned, like being at a great height. I can get like a mild paralysis of like, what's the word? When you're way too high up. What's that word? I hate it when I can't remember a word that's very specific. Anyway, fear of heights. I do have that. It does paralyze me from time to time. But I think that it's not terribly easy to scare me like in the dark or, in unfamiliar territory. If I hear noises, I'm pretty quick to explain them, pretty quick to check them out and stay pretty calm. So, yeah, I guess it just depends on the circumstances as to how easy it is to scare me. Let's move on. I'm still trying to remember that word that you've probably already said 2 or 3 times to me. If you're watching this, you're like, it's this, Adam, come on. I'm going to yell it out really loud in the middle of this, of this video when I remember it. Vertigo. That's it. It's vertigo. No? Is that right? Vertigo? Damn it. Now I'm so unsure of things. Anyway, the question 13, lucky 13. Have you ever played Bloody Mary? So many times. Yeah, when my parents were in this bowling league, we would go to the bowling alley and they would put me in this nursery. I was like, maybe 9, 10, 11, that age range. And wow, there's some Freudian slips going on right now. It is vertigo. Thank you. Anyway, I would sneak out of the nursery. I'd say, I have to go to the bathroom. And then I wouldn't come back. But I would go to the bathroom. And every time I went to the bathroom, I would do Bloody Mary in that mirror. And that was a lot of times, you guys. It was a lot of times. Bloody Mary just didn't want to hang out with me. That's fine. That's fine. Whatever, Bloody Mary. I don't need your, I don't need you, Bloody Mary. You don't have to be like, whatever. Question 14. Do you believe in demons / the devil? I don't believe in Judeo-Christian mythology, demons, devils. I look at that stuff as fiction, like any other old world mythology, old world religions. It's all fiction to me. So I don't believe in the devil. I don't believe in like these entities that are influencing man. I think man influences man, and men should be, culpable for their own awful deeds. It's not the devil. It's not the demons. It's them. And sometimes it's just them being influenced by other people, that kind of stuff. So no, I don't believe in demons or the devil. I do believe in dark energy, and I do believe that can influence people. But I often think that those energies are created by people. So no, I don't think I believe in demons or the devil. Not in the sense of what a demon and a devil is made out to be in mythology. 15. You're home alone, but you hear footsteps in your house. What do you do? Well, okay, I live in a house with several people in it. So this is me assuming that, well, it says you're home alone. So I'm not here with the kids or the roommates. My dog is probably in my room with me. I hear footsteps. What do? Well, I would probably strip naked and grab a machete and just start walking around the house. And whoever's crazy enough to be in my place will encounter a fat naked dude with a machete who's just, dying to react to something. That's what you get, man. You get fat naked me with a big old machete. That's my defense. That's my home defense. I might call 911 too. Probably, maybe. If I was positive somebody was in the house, I would call. But other than that, yeah, fat naked machete. Next, 16. If you got trapped in one scary movie, which one would you choose? Oh man. This is an interesting question, and it's hard. It's hard. Maybe something like historic, maybe like Frankenstein is cool, right? Frankenstein, I'd want to interact, but I wouldn't want to be like directly involved. Like Frank wouldn't be pissed at me, but I would see like him running through the streets and, oh, there's a lot of plague in Frankenstein. No, I don't want to do Frankenstein. Something like, I don't want to be trapped anywhere. I want to be able to get away, but I want to interact. I want to be scared. I want to have, okay. All right. Okay, cool. I'm going to say The Shining. And I know I said I didn't want to be trapped anywhere. I would be trapped in The Shining, but I think I could take Jack Torrance. Like, he's not like super strong. And this is movie, right? We're not even dealing with like the book version of Jack Torrance. This is Jack Torrance from the movie, who's a guy who like had a bad leg and he wasn't extra strong. He just, ran around swinging an axe at people. I think the only advantage he might have is like hiding and jumping and killing me. But other than that, like if I heard the screams somewhere in the hotel and I knew Jack was like killing people, and if I wanted to do something about it, I think I could take Jack Torrance. But otherwise, nah, and I would like it because like I like to write too. So I'd just be in the Overlook writing, getting me some work done. Just type. This place is kind of creepy. Type. Like I said, I'm also maybe too uptight to see or encounter a lot of ghosts, because that's also kind of part of the story. They make it sound like it's just the guys who shine are the ones who were affected the hardest by the Overlook Hotel. So I think that I wouldn't have to worry about it in that regard. I don't think I have The Shining, but I think, I might get the creeps here and there, just being alone in a big creepy place, right? That does obviously have entities that just probably wouldn't interact with me to the level that they do with like Danny and Jack Torrance. So yeah, The Shining. That is my answer. The Shining is my answer. Excellent. Next, that's me trapped in a movie. Number 17, if you could only wear one Halloween costume for the rest of your life, what would it be? Chewbacca. 4 days, Chewbacca. I've got my Chewbacca outfit in there. I was so sad I didn't get to wear it this Halloween. Oh my God, I was sick. You just heard me coughing like crazy earlier. Just sick. Ugh. Next question, 18. Would you ever go to a graveyard at night? Oh my gosh, I've done this so many times. I love graveyards at night. Me and my friends used to go and play in D&D in graveyards at night. I lived in Galveston, Texas for a good while when I was working in their outdoor musical theaters. And part of that contract was working in some of the local theaters in town, like the old Opera House and stuff like that. Anyway, there was a movie theater there. It was a dollar theater. And right next to it was this old historic great graveyard. And I would go and watch a movie and then just go walk around in this old historic graveyard at night. And I loved it. It's like one of the most peaceful places. The sculptures, the stonework, it's all so intricate and old and just beautifully crafted. I loved it. Yeah, it's the safest place in the world. Yeah, so yes, I would, and I would do it again. Graveyards at night. Question number 19. In a zombie apocalypse, What is your weapon of choice? Dude, I have thought about this so darn many times. I would want to have, this is very specific. I would want to have an old school halberd. You know what a halberd is? It's this old polearm. It's an old weapon that was used in like old, warfare, back in like the, 15, 16th centuries. It's basically like an axe head, with a large spike at the top, a very, very long spearhead at the top of it. And the spearhead would be for just piercing skulls and, sucking it right back out. And the axe head would be for like wrangling them if I needed to. And it's on the end of a long pole. Now, what I mean about it being super specific is I would want to be able to adjust the pole to where it could be like a handheld piece here, or then a long piece where I could stand on top of like a wall and pierce heads and wrangle them a little bit. Yeah. So believe me, I've thought about this many, many times. The perfect scenario zombie apocalypse for myself and what I would do, that would be the thing. I don't want to have anything that requires gas because gas runs out, and I wouldn't want to have anything that requires ammunition because ammunition runs out. I would still want to have those things, but I think my go-to would be my polearm, my halberd. So that's me. All right, that's my zombie apocalypse question. That is question 19. Question 20. Would you rather go to a Halloween party or go trick-or-treating? Oh, okay. I mean, I'd probably rather go to a Halloween party and just hang out with people. Although if I went trick-or-treating like with my kids, my nieces and nephews and stuff like that, that would be fun too. And I think I would have just as good a time. But if I have to pick one of the two, my nieces and nephews would probably just want to hang out with their buddies, and I would just go hang out with mine at a Halloween party. So, Halloween party is my answer. Question 21. You're in a horror movie? You're in a horror movie. It's a misspelling. You're in a horror movie. Are you the final girl, the first to die, the comic relief, the skeptic, the smart one, or the killer? Well, let's look through them all. The killer sounds like a lot of work I don't want to do. So, nah, it's too much work. Am I the smart one? I could be accused of being smart, but there's always somebody smarter than me around. The skeptic, well, that sounds like me. Maybe I'm the skeptic. The comic relief. Okay, yeah, that's probably me. Because I can be funny. Although it seems like comic reliefs in most horror movies are not really that funny. They're the guys that think they are funny. And then they're just not funny to anybody else. They're always like practical joking, like, hey, I got you, good. I'm just like, this dude's a chump. If I was the comic relief, I'd actually be funny. So, hey, maybe, I want it to be tragic that I die. The first to die? Probably not, because the first to die is always a douchebag. It's always somebody, and it seems to be pretty much the trope in most horror movies. The first to die is usually the guy who is shitty to his girlfriend, or just stole something, or you know what I mean? Like the bad guy gets somebody that's bad. So right off the bat, you're sort of like, yeah, screw that guy. You know what I mean? First to die is seldomly somebody you like. And if it is, it's like somebody's mom or dad or something like that. Or am I the final girl? Maybe, do you have to be a girl to be the final girl? I don't know. I could wise up. Like I said, I've seen enough horror movies to where I might be able to survive one. Let's say, I'm going to say the comic relief, though. I'd be the comic relief that is actually funny. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good room. Thank you. Next, question number 22. Do you have to watch something happy after watching a horror movie so you can go to sleep? I do not. I could sleep like a kitten, just purring away after watching some horrible, horrible stuff. So, nope, I'm good. I can watch bad stuff and go right to bed. Question 23. Whilst watching scary movies, are you the person who yells at the characters, the person with their eyes covered the whole time, or the person who falls asleep? I'm a person who believes that when watching a movie, that moment is sacred and speaking out loud is garbage. Now, if I'm by myself, I might speak to the screen. Or if I'm with a friend of mine who also kind of doesn't mind talking, then yes, maybe I'll be the guy hollering at the screen. Because I'm certainly never the guy who falls asleep And I'm certainly not the one with their hands over their eyes. Although I used to be. Yeah, like when I was a kid, horror movies horrified the hell out of me. Because I feel everything. So I've grown out of being the guy with my hands over my eyes and maybe grown into the guy who's just like, come on, dude. There's a guy behind you with an axe. What's up with that? Damn it. I'm not going to make it to the end of this video, you guys. Go on without me. Can you imagine if I did this on Halloween when I was like really, really sick? Garbage, man. Garbage. I'm gonna publish this, dude. You guys are gonna see this. Remember how I was all high energy at the top, and now I'm just like, oh man, when is it gonna be done, you guys? All right, oh good. Now, question number 24. There's so many questions. Are you the one who gets scared or the one who does the scaring? I guess, like I said, I'm probably the one who gets scared. I can get really jumpy sometimes. Yeah, vertigo messes with me a little bit. Yeah, maybe I'm the one who gets scared. Although I can terrify a person. You'd be amazed how quiet and unseen I could be when I want to be. Have you ever seen a fat ninja? Do you know why you've never seen a fat ninja? Because fat ninjas are really good at it. Okay, thank you. These are the jokes here on The Art of AWR. Next, number 25. What is my favorite scary book? Come on, dude. That's a mean-ass question, man. There's so many good scary books. I don't know. I would say maybe The Exorcist had the most like lasting effect. Like after I put it down, it still messed with me a little bit. I'm just going to say The Exorcist. You know, it might even be cliche to say it nowadays, but it's still a really good book. It's very haunting. And, you know, I want to get to the end of these questions. So I'm not going to list a whole bunch of books. The Exorcist was probably my favorite scary book. 26. How old were you when you saw your first horror movie? Oh my God. I can't remember a time when I wasn't watching horror movies. I remember going to like my grandma's house and like sitting in the living room, and she would be like, you know, making tamales, and I'd be like watching Sleepaway Camp, and that's a messed up movie. And I remember being super young, and she would just kind of be in her own world, you know, just doing her thing. But they would sit me in front of the TV watching horror flicks like all the time. I mean, I grew up in the 70s. So nobody cared about what you were watching. At least my folks didn't. You know, it was like if they were having sex, they'd be like, close your eyes, you know, and then like, oh, are they just being massacred? Okay, you can open them now. And so it's like, nope, no one cares. Go ahead and watch them horror films, Adam. In fact, they even thought it was funny when I would get horrified. I remember when I was a kid, I would hide behind the couch and look at the reflection in our the window of our door, and that's how I watched one of the first Friday the 13th, because like just the extra bounce of the reflection made me feel a little bit safer watching it. But I watched the whole darn thing, but I was terrified. Yeah, that's one of my earliest memories of watching horror. But then again, like I said, I watched Jaws when I was even younger than that, and you know, I consider that a horror movie, especially when you're a young boy who lives on the coast. Awesome. Let's move on. 27. What was your first Halloween costume? I don't know. I'd have to ask my folks. I remember, I think one of the first ones I ever requested was Chewbacca. And I remember dressing as Dracula. I don't know when those two, which one came first. One of the oldest pictures that I have of me in a Halloween costume is in my Chewbacca suit. So we're going to stay with Chewbacca. And Chewbacca has been like an ongoing thing in my life. I've dressed as Chewbacca many times. Number 28. What are you going to be for this Halloween this year? This year, what I was for Halloween was sick as fuck. I was just looking at my Chewbacca outfit, being sad, wanting to be out there. And as soon as my niece and nephew came home, I stole some of their candy and ate it while watching as many horror flicks as I could. That was my Halloween spirit this year. Final question, you guys. Oh my God. Number 29. If you could have a spooky Halloween pet, what would you pick? Oh, so spooky Halloween pet. The werewolf bear. Werewolf bear. Werewolf bear. I have a pet werewolf bear. Big black werewolf bear. That's my Halloween pet. Sometimes he's a bear. Sometimes he's a wolf bear. Werewolf bear. Be afraid of the werewolf bear. He is coming for you in the night. And that is the end of all of those questions. That's 29 questions. It was a grueling process, and I hope you enjoyed it. I know I enjoyed doing it. I'm just trying to get back into the flow of doing more videos. So this is me coming back, saying hi. I'm trying to make up for the Halloween videos that I missed because I got sick. I'm still a little sick, as you can tell. But I want to make more videos, man. I'm excited to do more. So I hope you enjoyed. I know I enjoyed making it. I'm supposed to tag some other folks, but it's past Halloween. Who wants to do it? But I did discover a new YouTuber that I think is delightful, and I enjoy her reviews. And that is the Goddess of Gore. So if you're watching this, I'd be surprised if you were, but if you're watching this, consider yourself tagged for the Spooky Halloween tag. I'd love to see and hear your answers to this enormous list of questions. But anyway, until next time, I hope to see you soon, or hope you see me soon, because I never get to see you. You only get to see me, because this format is strange and odd to me. I'll see you guys later. Cheers.